Hi, I'm Dr. Sargent. I'm an internal medicine physician. I'm also founder of Monrovia Internal Medicine and Primary Care, and I'm a USCIS civil surgeon. That means I'm authorized to conduct your immigration medical evaluation and sign your I-693 form. I know all too well how confusing, frustrating, and expensive this whole process can be, but I've been doing it a long time, so I promise you're in good hands. In this video, you'll learn everything you need to know to meet the medical evaluation requirements to complete your I-693 form. We're going to talk about what the USCIS wants to know about your health and how that's collected on your I-693 form, how long it takes to complete the I-693 form, and what sorts of things might affect your timeline, and finally, the cost. Number 1, what do they want to know? So what does the USCIS want to know about your health? To put it simply, the USCIS basically wants to know if you have anything that can be considered a public health risk. That's all. They just want to make sure that there's nothing about your health which might pose a risk to others. That's why on the I-693 form, they require documentation about your history of vaccinations, a review of your past medical and mental health history, documentation of certain laboratory requirements, as well as a complete physical examination. Let's take a look at each of these. Physical and mental history. Now this part's pretty easy. I'll just ask you a bunch of questions about your mental and physical health and jot it down. It's important that we do this because the history of your health will tell me if you need additional vaccines or blood work. Vaccinations. How do you know which vaccines you need? Well, again, that's where I come in. If you have any records of your vaccinations, you and I will review it together to make sure that you meet all USCIS requirements according to your age and your health. If you don't have your vaccination record, don't worry about it. I'll let you know what you're missing and how to get it as affordably as possible. But to get an idea of which vaccines you might need, visit this website. Laboratory requirement. Everyone needs to prove that they don't have a positive quantiferon blood test. That's the blood test we use to check for tuberculosis exposure. It doesn't matter how old you are, everyone needs this test. In addition, all adults and kids aged 15 years and older must also get a syphilis blood test and a gonorrhea urine test. Number 2. How long is this going to take? The length of time to complete the I-693 form varies on a case-by-case basis, but for the most part, we can turn it around within 2 to 3 days. That's because lab results usually take that long to come back. But there are a few other things that might affect your timeline. For instance, if you decided you wanted to go somewhere else to get your vaccinations and blood work completed, such as your doctor's office, that's perfectly allowed, but it does add to the wait time. Another example of something that could prolong things for you is a positive tuberculosis test. If your quantiferon gold blood test is positive for TB, then we'll have to check a chest x-ray before we can complete the I-693 form. And if the chest x-ray is positive, then a special section of the I-693 form has to be completed by a health department official. As you can see, there are a number of possible factors that can prolong your particular completion of this form, so please allow it enough time to complete it. Number 3. How much is this going to cost? This is the most popular question we get, and rightly so, because this process is not cheap. Sorry, but there's no way to sugarcoat that fact. Though we think our consultation price is pretty reasonable, the rest of this process can cost upwards of $1,000 depending on your age, how many people in your family are being evaluated, how many vaccines you need, and the condition of your health. Vaccines are hands down the most expensive part of this whole process. For example, just one injection of the Pneumovax vaccine can cost nearly $300, and if you require multiple vaccines to be compliant with USCIS standards, your cost can be as much as $600 just for your vaccine requirements alone. Now don't worry, this is the worst case scenario. Most of our patients don't come close to paying that much for their care. That's because we bend over backwards to try and find the most cost-effective way to complete this process for you. Additionally, the relationships we have cultivated over the years with our vendors have allowed us to negotiate insane low prices for labs and vaccines, the savings of which we pass on to you. So, how should you get started? If it were me, I'd start by booking my document review session. It's conducted entirely remotely, either by phone or video conference for your convenience, and a great way to get all of your requirements organized before your physical examination with the civil surgeon. For a quick and easy way to book your IME document review appointment, scan this QR code. And that's it. So what are you waiting for? If you have questions, we would be happy to answer them for you. Just give our office a call at 877-254-4496 or text us from our website at www.mimpc.com. Hope to see you soon.